Hi there, this is Kathy Crow here at the Crow Cottage. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it today. I feel I'm a little hot and sweaty. Yes, I'm sure you can tell because it's kind of moist. We've had tons and tons of rain. Plus, today's project actually is easy, but when I was figuring out my template, there was one instruction that was off and just one fold, and it really messes it up. So I had to kind of go through the whole thing again. So that was a lot of work for just one little fold to make sure I had it right, because these are really cute cards. You're gonna love to make this. Now today I'm gonna use a paper that's current. I used retired paper when I made this set because I really wanted to show off this cute little die cut lawn chair. It's really cute, but it's not just the die cut one that's really nice. The stamped one is too. In fact, the stamped one is actually kind of why I got it. But then after I played with this set, I realized that this one, the other one is okay, but I really like this one. Now, I do have to say that I've seen some other people doing this, and there is a way to make these arms actually look more dimensional, like on that one and this one, so that you can actually set things on there and it would look good. The way I did it, it was just flat. It didn't quite. But this is the fold we're gonna do today, but I'm not using this, but I love this old paper. This is one of my favorite old papers, like from long ago, so I used it just to keep a handy sample with the exact dimensions that we're doing, because this one's actually a little skinnier. And when I did it, I was thinking, well, it works, but it barely. I had to really hunt to find paper that worked with this dimension. This is the standard kind, and I wanted it bigger. So I kind of made my own today, and I'm sure the dimensions are somewhere on someone's, who knows, because no matter what you do with a fun fold, there's probably somebody who did it already, which is good. But I keep redoing it. I'm like a teacher that goes in every year and says, I am not gonna rewrite the whole year's lessons again, and then you do it. Now the paper is wonderful, so I'm gonna show that to you. These things are, I hope, available. I'm not sure, because actually, the last time I looked, it was unavailable, and then I looked and it was available, and this is why you want to be a demonstrator. So I got mine a long time ago, thankfully. And you can too. If you join our team, you can get the pre-order for everything, and you will never not know what's going on. Now, I do really seriously, I forgot to put my computer on because I'm so sweaty down here trying to get this all right, but I really have to do this because the last few weeks Facebook has not been kind to me and has shut me off in the middle of my videos, and especially with one that's going to take a little bit of time like this one. And it isn't just Facebook. I can't just blame them. I mean, that's part of it, but I can't blame only them, because the other issue is that Jeff is home. He is oftentimes substituting, but for us, school is out, which is really nice for him and for me, because we'll get to go and do some things that we haven't really been able to do so much. But it makes it a real challenge to try to get this video thing done each week. And now, so this is a project that you will see in my newsletter, I believe, next week. I'm trying to stay a week ahead so that when we do have, when we go on a little trip with families in, I'm not scrambling to try to get this all back into place. Okay. All right, so let's start with the paper. I'm still going to be playing with the camera to make sure it's all in. It looks like right now I'm in pretty good shape. All right, so Relaxing Waterside, let's start with this. I love the cup and the book because you can actually fit the cup and the book on any of the benches. And I have a couple stamped out and ready to go. This, of course, is not the case it comes in. It comes in our flimsy little folder ones, which are nice, but they're really nice. You'll get your stamps in one of these and your dies in one of these, and it's great for storage. fits in a space, like a tiny space, and this takes a fairly good size space, but I have so many things I really need to be able to see the spine, so I am taking them and putting them all in here. But anyway, these are the dies that come with it. There's the book. There's the cup. Good. I haven't lost any. I was just checking really quick to make sure I haven't lost any. Now let's look at the paper, because this is what I'm going to be using today. I think I'm going to use both of these sheets, and you get, this is nice for just simple card fronts, but all of this paper is wonderful, and you are just going to love it. I got it mainly for the fact that I knew that I was going to do these books. I mean, this bench. I wanted to show that, but I love the bicycles because I like to bicycle. And then when I saw it has these birds on the back, I was like, sweet, because I can use that. There isn't a sheet that's not fabulous. Now look at that. This one I'm going to have to do. This is going to have to be a bag. I don't do scrapbooking, but if you did, that would be fabulous. I love these plaids. They're really pretty. And then if you boat at all, you're going to love this. Look at that. I mean, and then wood grain, you can't go wrong with that. But oh my goodness, I don't kayak or boat, but tons of people do here. So, this is just going to come in really handy for a whole lot of cards for probably my neighbor across the street, who is going to enjoy getting these to distribute to her family, I suspect, because our family doesn't live on a boat, doesn't live on a lake, doesn't live on, I mean, Jeff would like to live on the ocean, but he always thinks he wants to go to a lake, and he would, but, oh, I don't know. They're usually kind of remote, and I'm sort of a fuddy-duddy. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started, and I think first of all, I'm going to just set these aside. We'll cut this out later, because obviously you have to cut out each piece, and this little fun fold isn't going to take long to assemble. Once you get the actual dimensions done, it's really simple, okay? So you're just going to use your Stampin' Up! Trimmer and scorer. It has the score tool on there, so it's not really hard to do. This is a piece of Pool Party. I think that's going to go good with any of the colors I picked from that set. And we're going to cut this at 5.5 by 11. So you're just going to keep it at the 11-inch side, and then we're going to cut it 5.5. Okay, and then save this, because you'll probably use that for something. We're going to do a nice little frame here to position on the back there. Okay, now is where you need to pay attention. Okay, until now you didn't need to, but now you do. Because what we're going to do first is we're going to score this. And I'm going to score this to here. And this middle section actually is 1 3/4 in. That's one reason it's nice to use our trimmer or another trimmer that's similar, because I'm going to position this at 1 7/8. And then I've got my measurements on the side here. You know, I made this to fit on here because I needed it to be super exact with this edge. And mine was wearing off. I think it might come with one. I don't really remember if it even does. But I've got it marked. So there's my 1-inch mark. And I'm going to score right here to the, right here to the 1 7/8. Okay, so if you're thinking, I'm not sure if I'm getting this exactly right, well, don't worry. That part this isn't quite as important. But here's the 1 7/8. measurement, and I'm going to go like this to make sure it's straight, 1 7/8. So that's it right there, but you pretty much just have to see it, okay? So 1 7/8, we're going to go up, put it at 1 7/8 and go up, and then we're going to go, I'm going to turn it because I want exactly the same thing happening down up here. So 1 7/8, we'll put it on over. And then I'm going to check my fold to make sure that score line I just did is right in the middle of that track, because I need it to be. And then we're going to go 1 3/4. I think I did it wrong up there, because I think I went 1 7/8, and I actually need it to be 1 3/4. So I'm going to put it back over here and make sure 1 3/4. I'm going to do it really hard so I can see that I did it correctly. Okay, good, because at one point I did go just a little beyond that. All right, so 1 3/4 is this edge to this edge and this edge to this edge, okay? All right, now we're gonna just continue to score across, but we did not score in the middle here. That's the important part, okay? We're not gonna score in the middle here, and on the next one, we're not gonna score in the middle either. But the next line that we're gonna score is 3 5/8, so go 3 and 1 2 3 4 5/8. Okay, and then it's still 1 3/4 in. So I'm going to go to the 1 3/4 line and score that. And then I'm going to turn it again and go 3 5/8 again. 1 2 3 4 5, 3 5/8, and then come up again to my 1 3/4 line and score. Okay, now I'm going to score this middle section. And to do that, I am going to move this to 4-inch line, and then I'm going to just eyeball where my lines are here, because here I know it's 1 3/4, and I'm going to score this middle section. Okay, so we're going to score here all the way over to kind of just where I think it's going to be, and that's where that folds. Normally you should be able to fold it right across, but because my card is a little bigger and wonkier, it just didn't work, so I needed to do it there. All right, so now I'm going to move my arm out because we need to come out to 7.5 inches. So we're going to go 7.5. Okay, now this one we can score all the way down. So make sure you're at 7.5, and then we're going to just score across. And then I'm going to turn it because I want this edge to match this edge, and so we're going to do 1 7/8 again, just to be sure that's exact. So 1 7/8, and again we're going to go to the 1 3/4 line and push it up, score just the outer edges, and do the same thing on the other side. I can see it's smaller, and that's why it's important to do it like this. It shouldn't be smaller. It should be 1 7/8. Why is it smaller? I must have not hit the line correct. Let me get that fold off. Okay, if you do what I just did and you make a mistake where your fold is, you can run your machine, you can run through your embossing machine and press that out. You could iron it, I suppose. Remember when we did patterns with sewing? Do people use patterns anymore? We'd have to iron those. Okay, so now let's make sure I get the measurement right. 1 7/8. It was a little farther than where I had it. And now we're coming up to 1 3/4. Push that out. Okay, oh, that's better. And now turn it 1 7/8. And then we come up to the 1 3/4 line here and push that up. All right, now we get to cut. You can see, you probably can't see, but I can see all of these fold lines. Okay, that's what you need to see, because you're going to take your cutting blade and you're going to cut from this first fold all the way down to the bottom fold on both sides. Okay, and remember we did this at 1 3/4 in. So if you put your paper on this 5.5 inch side, this side, at 1 3/4. That should put everything right where you want it. All right, we're gonna trust that that's correct. And then I'm gonna move my cutting blade up here to, it looks like it's like at 2, but it actually should be at 1 7/8. So I'm gonna move it to the 1 7/8 just in case I'm off a little bit. And then I'm gonna make sure my paper's nice and straight. The lines are matching up. Push this down so it doesn't move around, and then find the fold where you're gonna cut this to. Cut right there, and then I'm gonna turn it and do the same thing on this side. So we're moving it up to 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Okay, it looks like the folds, and this is lining up, paper's lining up. And I did not move my blade, so it's right where it needs to be. And then I'm gonna cut right up here to 1 7/8. Whew, and now it should work. Let's see if it does. So on the front of your card, you've got a mountain fold and then a valley fold. But this one's gonna come up right here. Okay, and on this one, it's kind of the reverse, I believe, but I'm gonna just come on down. We're gonna go valley fold here and mountain fold here and here. Okay, so we're gonna see how this is working. Make sure it's going correctly. If everything's scored right, it should. It's always a big mystery. Is it going to go? And then we're gonna go like that and that. Whoa, it folds beautifully. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Oh, success. I never really know. You can turn it over and see, is it lining up pretty good? As long as nothing's coming out on the edge, that's good. This one can come out on the edge, partly because I need it to. And that's why you want this to be a pretty close color to what your DSP is gonna, its background color is gonna be. Now that you've got all of those folds done, now you can do the burnishing, which is what we call doing this. You're just burnishing those folds and making them really good. Okay, so that one goes down, that. And then this will make your card fold really nicely in the envelope. Okay, so do your front and back. This one's a little harder to get to, right there. If for some reason your card is not folding quite as well as it should, just make it work. All it means is that one of these folds is just a fraction of an inch off, which is so easy to do. Now you can use a scoring box. You know, it's our scoring. I never use it. I've got it over here. I should use it. It actually is more accurate. It's your score tool, okay? It's very accurate. It has grooves. And if you use this, it's actually going to be much better overall for your projects like this. I just find I forget to even get it out, and I don't bother to get it out as much as I probably should. Now, I originally had this fold like a 1/4 inch bigger, and it just wasn't folding flat. So I'm really not really sure what happened with it. It should have, oops, what's going on here? This goes up like that. That goes down like that. That goes down. There we go. So it should match up better. This one's like way not. So I should not have done, I could have done it like the whole way across. That's how you're normally gonna do that. Doesn't really matter because we're gonna put a piece on here anyway. But yeah, this measurement could have just been, I believe, it's supposed to just be one score line. For some reason when I cut it this morning, it wouldn't cooperate with me, so I just adjusted it. All right, but you can play with it. Get a piece of scrap paper and do it and play with it. Now we get to cut out the DSP. This is the easy part. Once you've got that done, you're golden. Right? Okay, so we're gonna cut out this piece and match it up and see how do we really want that to work. My ruler comes in really handy, so I might actually need it. Let's see. Let me get my lights going a little better here. Okay. All right, so we're gonna just cut out. Looks like there's a nice straight line here. Let's cut this line out. Okay, and then we'll cut these side ones. That looks like a nice straight line there. And then you can cut these however you need to later. I'm gonna just do this part right now so I can see what this main piece looks like and how I want it to fit on this card. Okay, because I actually want the, I'm gonna cut the other one of these out too, and we're gonna use it like all over the place, I believe, because I kind of really like that dock. But we don't want our chair on this dock necessarily. You know, so, I don't know. I was gonna do that. Now I'm kind of rethinking it and thinking maybe I'll use this instead. And we'll take a portion of it, or even this, although this one does not have a beach on it. You could take a portion of this one even. That would work too, all right? Just play with whatever you want, the way you want your beach chair to look. This is cute. Maybe we'll use this. Okay, we could use this, and then where's we'll find the pool party that we'll want to put as the extra DSP. So once you've decided what your main picture is going to be, just pick out the color that you think is going to look best to go with your background. I was toying with the idea of using this bicycle, but I'm not sure that I actually want to. I'm going to use, for sure, the birds on the top, okay? And then on the base, it kind of depends on what my picture is going to be. Let's decide what we're going to do there. So, if I have this here, I can use part of it. I can use part of it up above, because what you're going to do is we're going to be cutting DSP piece here, and a piece here, and a piece here, a piece here. And so we can do birds up at the top. And then we can do these other things at the bottom, which will look pretty good. But depending on what your main picture is on the front. That's the kicker. What main picture do you want? I'm going to cut this off because I might use this. It's actually pretty cute. We have had so much rain, and it's pretty floody out there. Very floody. Oh, I like that. Even with the dock. Even with the dock. Let's try one of these others and have a look at that. I do really like this. And this would give me more probably of what I need for the big piece at the bottom. So let's check that out. There was a turtle on the road, and he was an itsy bitsy one, not today. I would expect it today because it's been so wet, but he was out early. Oh yeah, that's gonna look really, really good. I like that. Now this piece won't fit here because it's just too narrow, and I don't want just that here. I do like this house. So I think we'll go with the bottom of this piece, and I'll need two because I'm gonna need a piece here and here and here, okay? And then we're gonna use the birds for the top. Okay, so I'll get that ready here in a minute. And we'll just figure it out as we go, because I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna use the side of this under here, like this. I think that will look quite nice. All right, so now let's figure out the DSP. I'm gonna go ahead, I think what I'm gonna do just to start it off, I am gonna cut a pretty good piece off here. Let me grab my template again so I can see what we need. This was 1 3/4, so that means we need a 1 1/2 piece for this top frame. So I'm gonna go 1 1/2 over, and we're gonna cut. Let's make sure it's good. I might even move it up just a bit more. I can trim it if I need to. Let's see if that's big enough. Oh yeah, that's perfect. 1 1/2 will be fine. Let's go back to the 1 1/2. Okay, these long pieces, you need to make sure your paper is in lining up exactly the way you want it, because it can kind of get skewed. Okay, like see, it did. I either cut the first one off or wrong or something. Let's see, 1 1/2. It's pretty close, but it is off just a little bit because my paper was. So I'm gonna do this again. 1 1/2. Get it? Hopefully better. Okay. All right, so that's all that we'll need of that. And then the bicycle, I don't think we're gonna even use you. I'll put you over there. But what did we do with this? Okay, so I want 1 1/2 of this bottom. Let's see what that gives us. That pretty much just gives us the sand and all. So I think I might want a bit more than just the sand. So I'm gonna trim off about 1/4 of an inch from that bottom. And then I'm gonna go 1 1/2 there. Oh yeah, and I like this too, but I'm gonna hold off on that because I kind of forget, what's this middle piece? This middle piece is actually 1 5/8 and 1 3/4. Okay, that should be what this is here in the middle. This is where I wanted my ruler to come in handy. Let me grab my old wooden ruler. It's actually one of my kids' old wooden rulers. It actually looks almost like 2 inches. Wow. Oh, that's right, because the DSP is going to be 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 would be the next size if I want it in here at all. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and do that. 1 3/4. I'm going to go like that, and then that just gives me this little strip here. Okay, I'm going to cut out the other sheet that's like that. Where are you? There you are. Let's go like there. And there. Oops, I cut into the, oh good, it was on the line. It kind of scared me there for a minute. I thought I messed it up. Right there. Okay, so we just need this little piece right here. And then I'm going to cut off that 1/4 on the bottom again. And then we're doing 1 3/4 again, just to make sure I have plenty to work with. And another 1 3/4. All right, and that should be all the DSP that I'm going to be using for now. But I'm going to put this on the side. This I can throw away. Keep that. If you are interested at all in these dimensions, you can always just put a comment down there below. Can you please send me the dimensions? I don't always look at my messages, I'm afraid, but I do eventually. So just keep working on it, and then I will see it. Now we do need a piece here. So that's where one of these bigger ones is going to come in handy. Okay, we're going to just use, I could use the birds and cut them the other direction, but I don't know that I want birds going up the side. I do think this look pretty good right there. So we're going to use this. I've got this one in case I need that too. I don't think I will. I think this one will work just fine. Well, let's do this side over for this one. Okay, remember this was 1 7/8 on the edge here, right here. This is 1 7/8. So that means we need the DSP to be 1 5/8. Okay, so we're going to cut this side right here, 1 5/8. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it needs to be 5 1/4. I'm going to cut the sky off, 5 1/4. And then we're going to do the same thing, but on this side of it. Okay, 1 5/8. I do actually need, yeah, no, that's correct. 1 5/8. I don't need 2 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just need 1. Let's see how much we get. We actually aren't getting a lot of the dock. I kind of want more of the dock. So I'm going to turn it, and we're going to get the dock. 1 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I know I have to count every time. It's because I have made so many mistakes with cutting the eighths incorrectly. I'm really cautious. And 5 1/4. I know people who are more mathematical are probably thinking, wow, I'm sure glad my brain functions better than hers does. I'm glad it does too, because if it wasn't for people like you, I wouldn't even know how bad off I am. That'd be bad, wouldn't it? All right, so this side, this is going to go on this side like that. Oh, this is going to be so cute. I love it. And then we haven't even gotten to the stamping and all that part yet. But this, just getting this done is pretty satisfactory. Once you've got your paper cut and you can kind of start to see that it's coming together, it's like, oh boy, that's wonderful. I'm so excited about that. All right, so we'll put that one in there like that. Now you're gonna have, remember we're gonna have a piece here, so I'm not really worried about that. We're gonna open it up and let's put this part here. I'm not really, this card is not a writing card. If you're gonna be writing on it, I usually save this middle part for writing. And I send it to kids, you know, that I write to all the time. So it's not like, in fact, last night, I think it was last night, I was talking to our granddaughter, and I was, because she likes to do this too, and I was explaining something to her, I don't remember what, some technique, and, oh, I said, like, you know, such and such a card. Did I send you the Winnie the Pooh card? That was it. She said, I don't know, you sent so many, I'm not really sure. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know, I love it. Okay, I actually really kind of quite like how that lines right up with those folds. All right, so we got that done. Now we get to figure out, do I really want these birds in the sky? Or do I want to go with this nice lake edge? You know, I don't know. But since we're gonna have this here, I don't know if I really want that nice lake edge. I think I might rather have the nice birds. Yeah, we'll do the birds. All right, so for these DSP pieces, we need 1 1/2 by 1 3/8. Okay, so let me see here. Make sure I got this correctly. I'm gonna put this here so I can kind of see here. So where did I write it? I know I did here. Okay, 1 1/2 by 1 3/8, and you need 4. We're gonna do the 2 birds here, and I'm gonna do this as the birds, I believe, also. And then the ground is gonna be these bottom ones. So we just need 2 of this upper bird thing for now. So 1 1/2. Let me make sure I'm getting it the right direction here. This is the 1 3/8 side, and is that correct? That, Yes, so 1.5 is this way, and that is a 1 3/8, isn't it? No, it's 1 5/8. Okay, so 1.5. Okay, 1 3/8. Just making sure. 1, 2, 3, 1 3/8. I need 2 of these. That seems awfully small. I'm gonna do it a little bigger. I'm not going to the halfway mark, but I'm doing it just a tiny bit bigger because I want to see if that's really where I want it. Yeah, I actually want it to be a little bit bigger. So we're gonna do it at 1 1/2. That might actually have been what I was, no, it wasn't though. That'd be 1 1/2 by 1 1/2, a perfect square. There we go. All right, 1 1/2 it is. 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. Pretty simple. And that one's gonna go there. Okay. If you want it bigger, you can always do it just a little bit bigger. And then we need this middle section right here. This is 1 1/2 by 3 3/8. Now we've already got the 1 1/2, so we're gonna go 3 3/8 right there. And I'm gonna do it a little larger just because that issue, you know. Yeah, in fact, I could even do it a little bit bigger than that. Instead of 3 3/8, I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way up. There's 1, 2, 3. We're gonna go up to 3 1/2. Okay, let's check that out. Even that's a little bit roomy. I could have even gone a bit bigger. I need to change these dimensions. This is why I did what I did, which is check those dimensions before we even start. I've done so many of these videos where I didn't do that and then was regretting it. Yeah, we'll just do this while we're here. Okay, do this one here. And the long one there. Okay, you just want to make sure that they are lined up with one another, okay? So let me pull this up a tiny bit. Oh, don't do that. There we go. It just was torqued a little bit oddly. All right, that's better. And then this one's gonna go right here. Perfect. All right, now we get to do the bottom. Exactly the same. We're just gonna do the bottom piece. Uh-oh, I lost my cap. Oh no! Oh no, I really do need the cap. I must have got underneath my drawer. There it is, thank goodness. Okay, so now we're gonna put away these birds. I won't be using that strip. If you think you're gonna ever do a piece like this again though, hang on to it. You might want to make another card just like it. If you're going to make one of these, you might as well make more than one. All right, so we're going to do part of this house here. We've got our birds back there. I do really like the ice cream cone on there. Yum, yum. And then we're going to do our beach bottom here. Yeah, well, we're going to do both beach bottoms, and I'm saving this. We're going to do this in the middle here, okay, for at least this side. I did not need to cut both of those out, but that's okay. All right, both of these are pretty good. That one's too wide, so we need this to be 1 1/2. 1 1/2. Make sure I got it lined up there. Okay, and then we're gonna go, they should be the same. Good, they're pretty close. 1 1/2, what did I do? I didn't go 1 3/8, I went bigger. 1, 2, 3, I went all the way up to 1 1/2. So 1 1/2 and 1 1/2. And this piece is gonna be in the middle, so we'll put this one here. Let's do this piece for the back side here. So 1.5. All right, that's gonna go there. Very cute. Now when you have a whole suite of products, then you've got everything you need to work with, which is one reason you want to get the whole suite. For this one, you want everything. It's all good. In fact, I think I've already worked. I did something with this set, I think, already, and there was just so many great things in it that I couldn't just do one thing. So that's why we're doing another thing. It's too cute. All right. And then the centerpiece obviously isn't big enough, so that's why this second piece is coming in handy. I'm gonna start, I think, I'm gonna start on this side though, and trim that edge off just a little. Let's see, we need this to be 3, and we're gonna go with 3.5, just to be sure I have enough of it. I'm gonna go like, cut that edge off, go 3.5. And before I cut, because this is my last piece, I'm gonna double check here and make sure, yeah, that's 3.5. And I could have gone a little bigger, remember? So, you know, well, none of us are perfect. I know some people are better than others, but for sure, check those measurements before you cut. And I always cut things just a bit on the big side until I'm confident that the project I'm working on has accurate measurements. You can always trim something, but you can't, you'd have to waste a whole nother piece of paper. All right, now you decide, am I gonna use this little space to write, or do I want my paper on it? Well, I'm gonna use it to write. And I think what I'm gonna do, instead of using this, I was actually gonna use that there, but I'm wondering, should I just use my beach? No, I don't think I wanna use my beach. That kind of will look weird. So we're gonna cut this, but not where the grass is. I'm gonna go on this side of it, and we're gonna do, I think 1 3/4 was what this is supposed to be. It is 1 3/4 by 1 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go big and go 1 3/4 and see. Aha, see, I could have even gone a bit bigger even than that. And if you have any of the dock, actually the dock would be really good to put there. Do I have any of it? Let's have a look. I'm not sure if I do. What do I have left over here? Because I threw away a bunch of stuff. Well, I might have a bit of the dock left over, but I don't. I'm gonna cut this piece though a bit. I think I might want it bigger. No, not really. It's not bad the way it is. I don't know. I can't decide. Do I want this piece? I might rather have that piece after all. Okay, so instead of cutting it at 1 3/4, I'm gonna go all the way up to 2. We're gonna try it. 2 works pretty good. It's a bit on the large side. I don't want it to be past where that fold is. So I'll trim that little bit off, just like 1/8 of an inch, and then we're gonna glue that on. So it ended up being 1 3/4 by 1 15th, 16th, or the 7/8. Either one will work. You might end up trimming it a bit anyway. All right, right there. You just want it to line up with those papers that are right there, okay? All right, very cute. Now we're ready for the card. That's all of this that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna throw away all my little scraps. Some people are good at using those. I'm throwing those away. I am gonna keep this because I think that's gonna come in handy in somewhere. You could use it here if you wanted to, but I don't think that's gonna look as good. But what I want for this piece is just, I want one of our square dies. So I'm just gonna grab a square die. I don't know that we have, what do we have right now for squares? I don't know that we have any square dies anymore. But I have my old square dies, so I'll be grabbing that out and finding the one that I want, because I want a pretty good sized one. Not the biggest one, maybe. Maybe the biggest one. Yeah, this is the DSP one. So we're gonna cut Pool Party from this largest one. And then I do want this from the smallest one. Okay, so now here's where you get to position it. Your chair is gonna be obscuring this corner. So I'm gonna, your question to yourself is, do I want the ice cream cone or do I want the building? I'm gonna go for the building, okay? And I'm gonna just cut this on the side over here really quick, just because it's gonna make it a lot easier, because we still have to stamp and cut out the chair, because I need to do the, we're not gonna just cut the chair, we're going to color and cut the chair. So it's gonna take just a tiny bit more. I'm not doing one of these chairs. You could, but I do think this one's gonna work best. And I love that cup on it, and I just think that one looks best with the cup. I don't know why, I just do. Where's my Pool Party go? There it is. Okay, so remember this piece that you had? That is what you're gonna use to cut a square or a circle or a rectangle shape. Really, almost anything here is gonna work just fine. I just happen to want the square. We have a whole lot of dies. I think we still got our something are they something fancy dies or nested essential dies? Something. I know we've got some layered dies. We've got wonderful scalloped circle ones. Oh man, are those available right now, or are those on our pre-order, ladies? Do you know? If you join right now, you will get a free, for joining, you get the all 5 of the in color inks for free, and they have that wonderful magnetic lid, and they're so easy to use, really nice. Definitely worth joining. All right, I'm gonna glue this right on. There's so many layers. You do not want to keep adding, you know, layer after layer after layer. So we're gonna just put the glue on right here and position this. So however you want, you can push it in or you can bring it out so that it's more level here. However you want to do it. I'm going to bring it out right there. All right, perfect. Love that. Now we're ready to stamp. This is the fun part. This is why I do this, is to stamp. I actually do really like the stamping part. Pretty fun. Now we do have a kit class coming up. Oh, it's a craft class. I forget what they call it, but it's really, really pretty. They're using this Scenic Coast paper, which is absolutely gorgeous. This Scenic Coast paper would have looked really pretty on this. I think I'm going to do a card right when we're done. As soon as we're done, I'm going to do another one of these using these papers. They're absolutely fabulous. There's a gleam to the water. It glistens. So anyhow, that class is, you can, the registration for it opens June 2. And are we in June already? Because I'm not. I don't even know if it's June. I haven't been really paying attention to what the date is even. I know we had Memorial Day, and it was an earlier date than normal, so I got all messed up with that. And my dates are still all off. I'm like not really thinking straight. Which, you know, that's probably not new, but anyhow. Boy, the sun has come out beautifully now. Wonderful. I might be drying up a little out there. It's been it was so wet. Now this morning when Jeff and I went and had our coffee, I had my umbrella and I grabbed that, of course, and normally I would have just sat in my car for the 10 minutes to wait until it dried off just a tad, because it was pouring. Oh man, it was like a sheet of water. Freddie, when you watch this, you're gonna be, are you still droughty over there and needing rain? Because man, we have just been getting tons of it. I hope some of it has headed to you. And anyway, it has been really wet. So nice for me in my garden. But this morning I had my umbrella. I went and ran to I literally ran across the parking lot to get to the coffee the overhang, you know. And there was a girl that was standing there. She like had 2 drinks in a tray and food in there too, and staring at the rain. And I thought, oh, that poor thing. So I gave her my umbrella. I said, here, take my umbrella, just take it, it'll be fine, because you don't want to get all of your food wet. And she was like, oh, I can't take your umbrella. How about if I just take it to the car, and then I'll drive my car by. And so now I'm getting bronze and pecan pie. I think bronze is going to work good for just giving us a little bit of now you don't have to do browns. I guess you could do a nice pool party chair. That would be pretty. I'm going to look here. Is that too dark? Nah, that's good. Anyhow, so I said, no, just take it. But no, she wouldn't take it. So she did that. And then, so I got my umbrella back. And then I realized, although this is the better umbrella, which is why I had it, I even have an extra one in my car. So I felt really guilty for not just insisting that she take it, because the thing is it rained pretty good, and I'm going to use the light pecan pie here, okay? It was not going to lighten up at all for a while. And she's still going to have to get out of the car and all of that stuff. Maybe she was going to a garage. I hope so. I felt bad. I should have just given her the umbrella. But it is my best one. It's like, oh, seriously, I can give it to you, though, because I can always get another umbrella. Man, you got to have an umbrella in your car here. It's like an essential. When we got inside, I said to Jeff, can you imagine? Because there were other people going out, and they were young, so that helps. But I was like, why don't you have an umbrella? This is Missouri. You've got to have an umbrella in your car. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just this, and then take this lighter part here like that. I do really want to see the distinction here. If I go all dark, I'm not going to. So I think I am going to grab out my 700. I'm going to grab out my 500. I'm going to grab out an ivory. I think ivory is going to work. Let's see. Some of these blend better than others. So if you're not sure, you can test it on the side here. This will be good for the top. And then I'm going to drag some color into it here, okay? But this way it's going to be a little lighter on the top and on the end, so we don't lose all of that. And then I'm going to pull this down too into this. It's going to wash out some of that color that I just laid down. And there you go. Now that it's kind of working into it, you can see how it's sort of lightening that up. And I really want it lighter in that very front part too. So we're going to do that. All right, now 700, I don't know really what hue you are. Let's check. You're pretty yellow. And that's a little bit what I've got already with ivory. So we'll just put a bit of you here. Not a ton. I don't want too much yellow happening there. And now I'm going to take my light pecan pie again, and we're going to try to lay this on very lightly. Take your brush tip, and I'm going to decide, am I going to, sometimes the brush tip's real dark. Let's do the bullet tip. Now, if I had one that's kind of running out, maybe I'll try my 500. I keep these when they are kind of running out, like that one. There we go. This one looks like kind of running out of some ink, especially on that brush tip edge. Did you see how this has faded quite a bit? It's actually almost what I want. So we're going to just go like this and like this. Try to pull that back up into it and get some more color going, but not too much. Yeah, my brush tip, these tips, you know, get messed up a little bit. So there we go. That's better though. All right. Now we'll take our ivory again, and this time I'm gonna, oh man, that brush tip is really shot. Really shot. We can rub him over all over here. All right, so do you see how that's kind of working? Now there are slats, so I really don't necessarily want to just go woof, 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 but you could. It's probably not going to make that big a difference. And one other thing, if you don't want to be painstakingly coloring like this, you definitely don't have to. Just use your pencils. Pencils work really good to get this whole effect. And now that I've got it the way I want it, with it lighter at the top and darker and all of that, take the lightest one that you found, which was my 500, by the way, and let's just go over these bottoms again. Try to darken up that edge where you want it to be darker. Okay, just where there would be shade, we're going to darken up that bit. Anything I missed? Not really. Okay, I think that's good enough. All right, now I'm going to cut this out with this die. And again, I'm going to just do it on the side over here so that you don't have to bear with me for a very, very long time. The video gets to be quite long, and I know you all have things to do. It is summer. The kids are out of school. We had a lot of rain. We're still gonna get rain, which is nice. Oh, look at that. See how it cuts that out so nicely. If you get it off like I did, just a tiny bit, and you don't want that edge, you can always just trim it off. But it's gonna look just fine as is. We're gonna stick that there and put a label on it, or you can just stamp on the top. Kind of depends on how I want to do it and whether I like my scene or not. For this one, I had a whole lot of sky, so I just used the Today is Your Day. It wasn't even, yeah, there it is. Today is Your Day. It is in this set. But there's a whole lot of great words. This word relax to me is perfect for this one. I do really like this. Here's to a new chapter if you want to use your book. That's always nice. We've got a little bird we can put in there. So many fun things that you can do. We definitely want dimensionals on this guy. All right, so I'm going to just decide, what do I think? I don't want to cover up this scene. It's too cool. I really don't want my stamped words to be here, although it wouldn't look bad. But I definitely don't want it here because the weight of it, something here and here, it's just too heavy. So if I'm going to put any little words, it would be right there. And I do think, let's see, Happy Father's Day. That's coming up. That would be really good. I just like the Today is Your Day. Relax. Relax always sounds good, but who knows if you're going to actually do it. That would be good. We'll do it. So let's take our relax and see how it's going to fit. It would fit there. It would fit there pretty well, but I think we're going to just stick it right there. Now, Pool Party is going to show up pretty good, but not good enough. So since I'm using pecan pie here, I think we're going to go ahead with pecan pie for my color. And then I know for sure that this brown is going to show in there really well. Okay, looks good. We'll stick that right there. And then I didn't even need to cut out a label. How easy is that? Okay, the book. The little book. It's so cute. I can't send this to my son, who would be the reader, or my daughter, I guess, because she's got 2 little kids, so she's going to be thinking, yeah, I'd like to relax like that, but that doesn't happen much. Oh, actually, it does. It does. Okay, what kind of a book do you want? You want a mystery? Are you going to have your Bible? What I need is my dimensionals. There we go. All right, so now we don't want dimensionals under here, of course, under these parts that are showing. I think on this back leg, I'm going to just use my little mini one. That's a little big there. I'll use him there. And we'll just use a part of them here. Okay, and there's another little teeny tiny part. That's so small, that's not even going to do anything. And then we'll use our bigger ones. I keep checking to make sure I'm not getting it where I don't want it. Okay, before you do anything with securing it, like not on the bottom, here at the top. There is fine. Let's get another mini, because I want it here, right there, and there, and there, and there, and there. I think we can still put one there. That'll help secure this really well. Okay. There, and there. All right, because this part might get tugged on a bit. So you do want it to be nice and secure wherever you decide to put these dots. Make sure you put them down really good, and then they are going to hold things really well. I love these Stampin' Dimensionals. Some of the raised things don't have the adhesion that ours do. I really like ours. All right, making sure I'm feeling, where are you? Make sure you're over far enough, because I definitely don't want you sticking to the card here. All right, those are done. And, you know, I'm thinking, how about a green book? Something light green, though. We'll do our soft seafoam. Soft seafoam is about as good as you can get. Oh, I know, pine. I love our peaceful pine. So pretty. Peaceful pine. This is one of the in colors. So, again, definitely get your checkbook out, your credit card out, actually, and just sign up. You'll be so glad you did. And I might do the cup too. Who knows? I might rather have the cup. This is pretty dark, even though this is the light peaceful pine. So I'm just using that. And then I'm going to use my dark sea foam. And that's going to make the green go together really well. It's going to mix it up nicely. You get a little bit of shading there. Okay, if you want your center of your book to be a different color, great. Let's go for it. Let's try our 700. And that's going to just tone that to something else. Little yellow in there. All right, birds. I don't know. We'll cut these out with the dies, and then we'll finish off. Let me clean this up. I'll bring it over. You can see what it looks like. We are almost done. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I really like doing it. It's fun, but it's always more fun when you're doing it with me. So thank you so much for liking and sharing my videos. Make sure you do a comment down below if you want to see the dimensions at all of this card, like we're written out so that it's easier for you to figure out what is what is where. And then you can even just take a screenshot, you know. I mean, I do that a lot. I take a screenshot that where it's showing the dimensions, and then I can just have that on the side while I'm working to try to figure some of these things out. Because oftentimes with these fun folds, it is a little bit variable for you. As you're working those little folds, sometimes you just have to be willing to practice it and then make it work for you. And it's one way in doing so, if you do it over and over, you will get so that you can change your dimensions too. And then you can make the card fit what you want it to be rather than just the size that whoever made that wanted theirs to be. Well, like sometimes I want to see more of that wonderful designer series paper. So I just want the card to be a lot bigger. And unless you're practicing and figuring these things out, it's especially with a fold like this one's kind of a tricky one, to be changing the configurations at all. It can be a little bit challenging. So keep working at it and practicing. Let me know how it goes, because you will get better at it, I guarantee. We all do. All right, so this little book actually does look like it's fitting right up there. Did you see how my ink smeared a bit? Well, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to trim off this white anyway. I really don't want any on here. All right, so you can have your book kind of sitting up here like that. Very nice. You could have it sitting up there like that too. That actually looks pretty good as well. Then I still have room for my cup. Okay, so let's take a dimensional, put that on the back of this cute little book. It's gonna just be sitting right there on the seat. And then you can see if you want your cup there or here or not at all. Okay, I think I'm gonna do, I don't know if a mini dimensional will be too big. It seems kind of large. No, actually it does fit. Wow, I love that. All right, and then that's there. Woohoo! Fun, fun, fun. I love that. I hope you liked it too. And we will flip up the camera. I will say goodbye, and I will see you next week. Woo. Okay, so this card is in my newsletter this coming week, and with all of those other projects. I don't think I said I was going to tell you what other things I used, because if you don't have that DSP, you really can't get it anyway. That old stuff, I don't even know what the name of it is. But this DSP is great too. You will love this. And so next week, you'll see this project. Go ahead and subscribe if you aren't getting my newsletter, and I will get you signed up there. And I think I told you pretty much everything that's happening at Stampin' Up. Make sure you check that website out, because they always have new things going on now all the time, and classes and new kits, and there's a lot of really nice kits. Just so many. Oh, the product of the month, all you do is you spend $75, and then for $5 you get something. And this coming month in June, it's a cute stamp set. You're gonna want it. I think that's it. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.